Day 4, we're nearly done. There's just like a little bit left to do and we've done it. It's been a dream really, hasn't it? It's just not at all been daunting or hard to put together. I think the thing that we have to remember is just take one little step at a time. I mean, if I think about myself now, I've got a really short amount of time before I need to head into the house and crack on with some university work. So it's about making them into manageable little slots. So if I've only got 15 minutes, then that's one little process I can do. And you might think, well, what's the point? It's only 15 minutes. That 15 minutes takes you one step closer to getting this dress done and on my body. So I'm going to do it. It's just about being efficient with your time, isn't it? Can anybody guess what this is? Go on, have a guess. Guess. Ilford jacket, but this is the shirt. So it's different to the blue one in the sense that I did the placket detail. If you remind yourself, a few videos back I talked about this. There were two options and that blue one has got the boxy finish, so it's just pop my brew down, just straight down and no fuss. This one is all about the fuss. You've got your placket in there, lots of detail, and then you pop your button on. And I actually sized down on this one and it's the shirt version. So I'm just wearing it as an over shirt really today, just for a little extra layer of warmth. So yeah, this is my Ilford and it's in a black wool. Black wool means it picks up every little speck of dust. But I guess that's what you get. Wearing my daily dungarees. Loving these, so comfortable. Honestly, I can just curl up on the sofa, pull my legs up, loads of stretch and movement in them, doing a little dance now, just really comfortable. Ready to wear a polo neck t-shirt and this necklace which I made. It's a crocheted necklace. It's using the Stitching Me Softly yarns, and I became quite addicted to these last year and I've got a full like little colour range of these too. Got my cup of tea, Betty's tea. Need that on Hump Day Wednesday, don't we? I've got a candle lit just to give me a little bit of a scent in the room. The recording stopped quite abruptly last time, so sorry about that, but all I did was sewed up those side seams. So let me show you where we're at. Pins are falling out. Quite tricky to hold up, but please note, I got a hanger in the room because I hope to get it on a hanger very soon. This is the back all together, this is the front all together. So all we now have to do is we're going to go and we're going to sew these facings down with our top stitch. And then we are going to sew our crisscrossy belt loops onto the back. We have to do 2 buttonholes just here and then we're going to hem it. Easy. Really easy. So let's get started. Now I'm going to start by sewing in all the facings now, so that's all done and complete. Now if you remember, I'm doing this slightly gold tone on the outside and I wanted to keep the facings white, which means that I need to have white on the top of my machine, and on my bobbin thread I've got the gold tone. So when that's in, I'm just going to start by sewing across the strap, needle down. I've increased my stitch length to a number 3. Oh, got a little jam. Gave it a little pressure to get it across, and now I'm just going to start working my way round this curve. I'm going to keep it as close to the edge of that curve as possible whilst keeping everything nice and flat. Turn down the speed if you need to on your machine. It's a great feature to have on your sewing machine. Love having mine. And I'm just going to work all my way around now. Stopping before the pins to take them out, and that's going to take me to the side seam. Now if you follow the instructions at this point, you actually continue around and do all of the front as well. But if you remember, I said I'm going to make these side seams match. So I'm staring intently now to make sure it does indeed match. There we go. So let's see if I manage that or not. And then I just need to do the other side as well. Oh, I could have gone a little bit further, but as my mum would say, a blind man would be pleased to see that. so we won't worry at all. There we go. And actually, because I've done it that way, I kind of like that actually. It's created this pattern. I like that. I like a bit of detail though. Don't think it hurts to be a little bit different. So now I just need to go along and do the other back piece, so we'll have a matching pair. So there we are, they're the back straps all completed. I think that little shape that I've created is quite cute. And all the faces are now sewn down and nicely in place. So now I'm going to move on to getting the crisscrossing on the back. So we're going to start working on our little crisscross pieces now, but I've just reached for my shears and I thought I'd quickly show you them actually, because I know that we're always quite interested to see what other people use. This is my main set. I've got a lot of scissors, a lot, but these are my newest. I've had these a couple of months now. They're amazing. Super, super sharp. They come in this gift box here to keep them all in, which I do actually. And they have the plastic sleeve wallet to protect the blade. And you also get a set of snips with them. Now these look like a very expensive pair of shears, don't they? $12.99. $12.99. I have looked on all sorts of sites for some fabulous scissors, and they are, you will know, really, really expensive. But yeah, friend came along, she said, look what I got. And I was like, I've got to have some of those. So she sent me the link, I poppy believed, and went off and bought myself some, and not looked back for sure. What I did think was a shame was if you wanted left-handed scissors, they bumped the price up. And it was then, I think it was 20 quid, something like that, which I thought was a little unfair, to be honest. What I'm doing just now, I know you can't see me, is I got that long strap that I'd done, and I needed to trim them down. So I need 4 straps, and I'm cutting them all to 8 centimetres long. So I've just got my tape measure, lined up one, sewn it, cut it, and now I'm just making all the others match too. And then get rid of any spare. Don't want that anymore. Okay, so I've now got 4 equal pieces. Okay, let me just angle the camera down. I'm on the back of the dress. So here's the back of the dress. We've got our side seam just here where the belt is, and I'm now going to measure in 12 centimetres. Got the occasional thread I need to get rid of. Need my pins for my trusty pin pot. Tape measure. In fact, I'll use my measuring gauge. I do like this as well. And I'm going to measure across 12 centimetres from that side seam. Okay, which is the same as 4 3/4 inches. When I'm there, I'm just going to lay one piece over. It actually covers that little crease just there. Don't know that I want it to. I might just pop it before the pleat. I need to have a little think about that just for a minute. So I had a little think about that, and I do want to avoid these pleats. I think they're really pretty and I don't want anything to distract from them. So I'm going to do it so it actually comes just before, which means that this bottom peak just down here, it actually measures, I think it's 8 centimetres across. Yeah, 8 centimetres, and I'll centralise it. And then that one will go over the top like that at 8 centimetres. Okay, so all I now have to do is turn under these ends, these little raw ends, like that, fold them over, and I'm going to sew that in place by doing a little row of reverse stitches. I might take my stitch length down a little bit here as well. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. So I'll do some little row of stitches just there, and then I'll go to the other end, turn the end under and do a little row of stitches, and then I'll take the other bit and I'll do exactly the same. I'm on rations now with my goldy coloured thread. I don't have much left at all. So I'm having to be clever now and keep it so I've got white on the underneath all the time and the goldier tone on the top. And I've just got to be quite frugal. So yeah, it's got the bobbin thread just here now. Taking it down to a 2.5 as I mentioned. And I'm going to slide the back panel underneath the needle. keeping everything else out of the way. It will feel a little bit awkward, but don't get stressed out about it. And now, whilst it's here, I've put 2 pins in just to hold it in place. Now I'm going to turn under the little end and sew it in place. Minding my fingers as I go. I did start in a little bit and I'm going to reverse back. Although it seems adequately stuck. So I've gone forward and I'm going to go back all of the way as well. Doesn't want to go right to that edge for some reason. Right, I'm going to stop at that. It's been a bit grumpy with me and I don't know why. Pull my threads out, give them a snip off, and then what I shall do is I shall thread those threads to the inside and then tie them off. So I'm now going to repeat on the other 2 pieces. So they're all in now, and I'm being super lazy. I was going to pull all the threads through to the back and tie them off, but I've just decided to tie them off here instead on the front and then just cut them as close as I can. I will pay for this later. We know that this happens. So I don't know why, but out of making the entire dress, this is the bit that I enjoyed the least. So I'm just being honest. But it was nothing to do with how it was made, and it was everything to do with the fact that I was really lazy at my machine, and I've got a feeling that the needle needs changing because it just didn't seem to want to sew properly for some reason. It wouldn't. So our crisscrosses are now in. So now the final step that we've really got to do before the hem is get some buttonholes in just here. Now they're not buttonholes to sew a button in at any point. It is actually for some tie detail. So this strap will come through and then it will just tie off however you want it on the front. So what we need to do is get some marking chalk or whichever marker you like. And we're going to measure in a 1 centimetre hole. Now, it's up to you how close you want to have it in, but I'm going to suggest, I'm just having a look at the one I'm wearing. It is 1 centimetre in from the edge, but I might go in 1.5 centimetres. So I'm measuring 1.5 centimetres from the edge. Doing myself a little mark there. 1.5 centimetres there, and then that will be my starting point as I go in. So I will try and get it, but I'm not putting I'm not putting any pressure on myself for this because it really doesn't matter, but I'm going to aim to get it somewhere in the region of 1 centimetre down from that top edge. So if we can, this is the line that we want. I have got one of these attachments, so I'm just going to open it up to something like a 1 centimetre button there, and then that will know how long to make the button when it's at the machine. So this process might be new to some of you, so let me just show you how I do my buttonholes. So I've got my opening just here that I've just pulled back, which is where you would normally drop a button of the size that you plan to put in, but I've just opened up as big as I want. I've removed the foot just there, and I'm just going to clip that on in place like so. We've then got this sliding bit here that comes and taps the back just here, and when this connects, when we're sewing, it tells the machine you've made this hole long enough, start coming back please. So I'm now going to change it to a button setting number 9, and my machine's just telling me what I need to do. I'm just going to reduce the width down a little bit and the space between my zigzags just a little bit. Now if you were sensible, you would practice this first. Right, so I'm just lining up now so that I can see that my needle's going to go down right at that point that I made that cross. And when I'm happy, I'm just going to hand drop that needle down. The important thing here is to keep all contact away from that part of the machine now. So please be careful. Right, I'm just going to grab myself my unpicker. And the reason why I do this is so that I've got something to hold on to the fabric without getting my fingers in the way. So it's got this stiletto end on, you see. so I can just hold this. And just slowly I'm going to start sewing, and hopefully we get ourselves a nice buttonhole. There we go, so now it's returning. I could have made the zigzag a little bit wider, but obviously I've not practiced, which I would always recommend that you do. And the needle goes up and down to complete the cycle, and then it says completed on the front of the machine. So let me take that off and I will show you, and then I will repeat. There we go. So here they are, they're all done. So now what I need to do is just snip all the threads away, get those gone. They weren't entirely equal on either side, but because of the way they're going to be knotted, honestly, you're not going to notice. Certainly not going to stand and unpick them all just because it's a millimetre out from its other hole. So just snip all those away, and then we need to open this. Now that it's up to you how you do this. I am going to pop a pin in to the bar tack end just there, another pin in just down here, and then I'm going to very gently open it with my unpicker. If I'm ever in doubt, I'll just start the hole with my unpicker and then take my snips instead and snip it open. Now it's up to you. This is effectively where you can stop, but if you want to, you can add a little bit of fray check around this just to neaten up those little frays just there. So I'm just going to grab mine. So here's my fray check. I use the Prim. Just take off the lid and just carefully work our way around this. There we go. And it's like a little glue, I suppose. Dries very quickly. I'm going to do both sides actually. And it actually really toughens things up quite nicely. And obviously the way that this outfit is made, there will be quite a bit of pressure put on this area. So it is worth doing this if you can. Similarly, your facing will have been interfaced. If you remember, I didn't bother with mine. But you might always want to double layer this sort of area here just to make it super, super strong. We're there. This is it. It's on the hanger. It might not look the most flattering because the way it all gathers at the back, so there's so much detail there. But it's on the hanger. It's semi-ironed. It needs another iron. But this is it. I'll probably have to adjust these when it's on my body because I haven't tried it on yet. But I just wanted to give you a bit of a sneak peek on what it looks like. Nice full pockets here. We've got these lovely pleats on the front, and ta-da, the back. There we go. I will try and get some decent photos of this. Unfortunately, I haven't got a mannequin to pop it on, which is a shame because then it'd look lovely. But there's the crisscross that we've just done. We've got the lovely top stitching all the way around that we did. This is a bit we did just a short while ago, 20 minutes ago. And it's just come together beautifully. I do have one tiny little bit left to do, which is the hem. At the minute, this is 5 centimetres too long. So I've got to take it up by 5 centimetres. It does have a deep hem. But I want to think about whether I want to turn it up the 5 centimetres with the 1 centimetre first, so it's all neat edges, or whether I fancy doing a facing and taking the length up first and then adding a facing. So I'm just going to leave it to hang just for a little while and see what I think. But in the meantime, Dahlia! I really, really hope you found that this series useful, and that I've encouraged you to consider going out and getting that pattern yourself with the discount code and making it yourself, and maybe watching this videos as you go to see how it's all broken down step by step into smaller, easier to follow processes. If you've enjoyed this, please do consider giving me a like and subscribe. Any questions, pop them down into the comments for me. And if you'd like to see more content like this, please do just let me know. I'd love to get cracking and make the next great make for you. But in the meantime, thanks for watching.